My neglectful dad and manipulative stepmom tried to take the house I bought just to hand it to my spoiled, pregnant stepsister. They thought I'd stay quiet, but when my lawyer walked in, karma hit them harder than they ever expected. When I pulled into my driveway at 3:47 p.m. on a Tuesday and saw my stepsister Alyssa directing a locksmith to drill out my front door, I didn't panic. I pulled out my phone and started recording. "What the hell are you doing?" I called out, still filming. Carla, my stepmother, turned around with this practiced look of surprise, like she'd rehearsed it. "Oh, Nathan, we thought you wouldn't mind. We just needed to get measurements for the nursery." The nursery. I walked closer, phone still up. "In my house. That I own." Alyssa rubbed her 7-month pregnant belly and smiled. Actually smiled. "The baby needs a room, Nathan, and you have 3 empty bedrooms doing nothing. It's selfish to keep all this space to yourself." The locksmith looked between us, drill still in hand. "Ma'am, this gentleman says he's the homeowner." "He is," Carla said quickly, "but he's family. We're just helping him make better use of the space." "By breaking in?" I said. My father stepped out from behind Carla's white Lexus. Of course he was here. Probably drove them. "Nathan, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Families share. You don't need 3 bedrooms. Alyssa does." I looked at the locksmith. "Sir, I'm the sole owner of this property. I have the deed. These people are attempting to gain illegal entry. If you drill that lock, you're participating in a crime." The locksmith packed up his tools in about 30 seconds. "We'll pay you double," Carla said, reaching for her purse. "Ma'am, I'm not going to jail for you." He walked to his van and drove away. Carla turned on me, her fake sweetness evaporating. "You're seriously going to deny your pregnant sister a safe place for her baby?" "My stepsister," I corrected, "and she has a safe place. Your house, the one Dad bought you." "That's too small," Alyssa whined. "The baby needs space, a yard, a proper nursery." "Then ask Dad to buy you a house." Dad stepped forward, his face going red the way it always did before he exploded. "You ungrateful little. We're family. Family helps each other." "When did we become family?" I asked. "Was it before or after you forgot my birthday for the 6th year in a row?" "Here we go again," Carla muttered, always playing the victim. I looked at my father. The man who'd remarried 8 months after my mother died. The man who'd moved Carla and her daughter into our house and shipped me off to boarding school at 13. The man who'd paid for Alyssa's college, her car, her wedding, her honeymoon, then told me there was no money left for my education. "Leave," I said. "All of you. Now." Alyssa's eyes went wide with fake tears. "You're really going to do this? To a pregnant woman? I'm going to call the police if you're still here in 60 seconds. They left. But Carla whispered something to Dad that I caught on my recording. "Don't worry. We'll handle this legally. He can't stop us." Let me back up. I'd been living in this house for 18 months. Bought it myself at 26, with money I'd saved, working 2 jobs through college, then 3 years as a data analyst at Fisher & Klein. Not a massive salary, but stable. Enough to save $40,000 for a down payment. The house was a foreclosure in a decent neighborhood. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, small backyard, nothing fancy, but it was mine, completely mine. Title, deed, mortgage, all in my name. My father didn't come to the closing, said he had a golf tournament. Carla sent a text. "Congrats on the house. Maybe you'll finally grow up and start a family." I'd invited them over exactly once for dinner. That was 4 months ago, right after I'd finished painting the living room. Alyssa spent the entire evening complaining that her apartment was cramped, that her husband Jordan's salary wasn't enough, that she deserved better. "Nathan, you don't even have a girlfriend," she'd said, looking around. "Why do you need 3 bedrooms?" "For myself. That's wasteful." She'd turned to Dad. "Don't you think it's wasteful?" Dad had shrugged, barely looking up from his phone. "Your brother's always been selfish." Carla had walked through every room like she was conducting an inspection. "You know, Alyssa could really use a space like this. She's pregnant now. She needs to nest." I'd ushered them out before dessert. That was the last time they'd been invited. 3 days after the locksmith incident, I found an envelope taped to my front door. Inside was a document titled Notice of Intent to Claim Transfer of Property Ownership. I read it twice. It was complete garbage. Fake legal language copied from the internet. Claims about family property rights and equitable redistribution and elder authority precedent. Carla had written this herself. I could tell by the formatting she'd used the same decorative font she used on her Facebook posts. But the intent was clear. They were trying to scare me into backing down, make me think they had legal standing, make me doubt myself. I took photos of the document, saved them in 3 separate cloud accounts. That same evening, Alyssa left me a voicemail. "Nathan, it's me. Look, I know you're upset about the other day, but you need to understand, I'm 7 months pregnant. 7 months. I need a real home, not some cramped apartment with paper-thin walls where I can hear my neighbors fighting at 2 a.m. You have 3 bedrooms, and you're just one person. One. It's not fair." Dad agrees. "We're moving in next month whether you cooperate or not, so you might as well make this easy on everyone. The baby comes first. Surely you can understand that." I saved the voicemail, backed it up. Carla texted me 30 minutes later. "Be reasonable, or we'll make your life hell. Alyssa is family. The baby is family. You need to step up and do the right thing." Screenshot. Saved. Backed up. My father called at 11:30 p.m. I let it go to voicemail. "Nathan, it's Dad. I'm disappointed in you. Your stepmother and I have discussed this, and we think it's best if Alyssa moves into your house. You don't need all that space. She does. We're not asking, we're telling you this is what's happening. We'll arrange movers for the 1st of next month. You can stay in one of the smaller bedrooms if you want, but the master bedroom becomes the nursery. This is family business. Don't make this ugly. I sat in my living room and played that message 3 times. They actually thought they could take my house. My house. The one I'd worked 7-day weeks to afford. The one I'd saved for through college while living in a basement apartment with 3 roommates. The one I'd furnished piece by piece from estate sales and Facebook Marketplace because I couldn't afford new furniture. They thought I'd just give it up because Alyssa was pregnant, because family. I texted my friend Rachel, who worked in real estate law. Need lawyer recommendations. Family trying to claim ownership of my house. She called me in 2 minutes. What the hell is happening? I explained everything. The locksmith, the fake legal document, the messages, the plan to move in. Nathan, you need a lawyer. Like, yesterday. I'm texting you someone right now. His name is David Reeves. He specializes in property disputes and restraining orders. He'll take this seriously. David Reeves called me at 8:15 a.m. the next morning. David Reeves had been practicing property law for 19 years. His office was downtown, 14th floor, wall full of framed cases he'd won. He looked like someone's tired uncle, gray hair, wrinkled suit, reading glasses on a chain, but the moment he started talking, I knew I'd made the right call. Walk me through everything, he said. Don't leave anything out. I showed him the video of them with the locksmith, the fake legal document, every text message, every voicemail, every threat. He watched the video twice, read the document 3 times, made notes in a legal pad with handwriting so small I couldn't read it. This is attempted property fraud, he said finally. Possibly criminal trespassing, definitely harassment. Your family is monumentally stupid. Can they actually take my house? No, you're the sole owner. Your name is on the deed. They have 0 legal standing, but they can make your life miserable, and if they keep escalating, they could do real damage breaking in, squatting, claiming adverse possession if they manage to establish residency. What do? We file for a restraining order. Today, we take all this evidence to a judge and we shut this down before they try something worse. Will it work? Nathan, you have video of them attempting to break into your house. You have messages threatening to move in without your permission. You have a fake legal document they used to intimidate you. Any judge with a pulse will grant this restraining order. We filed that afternoon. David drafted a petition for a temporary restraining order against my father, Carla, and Alyssa. The petition included the video footage with timestamp and audio, screenshots of all text messages with metadata, voicemail transcriptions with phone records, the fake legal document with forensic notes about the font and formatting, a statement from the locksmith, Marcus Webb, who'd filed his own report about being deceived. David submitted everything to Judge Patricia Martinez. 48 hours later, we had an order. Fastest approval I've seen in 6 years, David told me over the phone. Judge Martinez watched your video and apparently said, "Are these people serious?" She signed it immediately. The restraining order prohibited my father, Carla, and Alyssa from entering my property, contacting me in any form, coming within 100 feet of my residence, making any claims verbal or written to my property. Violation would result in immediate arrest and contempt charges. What now? I asked. Now we serve them, and then we watch them implode. I texted my father, "Dad, I need to talk to you. Can you come by the house tonight? It's important." He responded in 3 minutes. Finally, "Yes, we'll be there at 6. Of course." David arrived at my house at 5:30 p.m. He waited in the kitchen with his briefcase, documents ready. "You sure you want to do it this way?" he asked. "We could have process servers deliver these. I want to see their faces." Fair enough. At 6:07 p.m., my father's black Mercedes pulled into the driveway. Dad got out first, then Carla, then Alyssa, who took her time extracting herself from the back seat, one hand on her stomach like she was in a pharmaceutical commercial. They walked up to the front door looking smug, triumphant, like they'd already won. I opened the door before they could knock. "Nathan," Dad said, walking in without being invited. "Good, you've come to your senses. About time," Carla added. She looked around my living room like she was already imagining new paint colors. "Alyssa's due in 6 weeks. We need to start moving furniture this weekend." Alyssa sat down on my couch without asking. "I'm thinking the master bedroom for the nursery. The morning light is perfect. You can take the smaller bedroom off the hallway. You're just one person. You don't need that much space." "That's my bedroom," I said. She shrugged. "Not anymore. Family shares." Dad walked further into the house, hands in his pockets. "I'm glad you're finally being reasonable about this. Alyssa needs stability. The baby needs a proper home. This is the right thing to do." I stepped aside and nodded toward the kitchen. David walked out. Professional, gray suit, glasses, briefcase in hand. Their faces changed instantly. Carla went pale. Alyssa's smile disappeared. Dad's expression shifted from satisfied to confused to angry in about 3 seconds. "Who's this?" Dad demanded. "David Reeves," David said calmly. "I'm Mr. Harrison's attorney." He handed each of them a document. Official papers, court seal at the top. "Real. This is a restraining order," David continued, his voice steady and cold. "Approved and signed by Judge Patricia Martinez 2 days ago. You are prohibited from entering this property, contacting Mr. Harrison, or making any claims claims to this residence. Violations will result in immediate arrest for criminal trespassing and contempt of court. Alyssa looked down at the papers, her mouth opening and closing like a fish. Wait, we're banned from his house? Yes, David said, effective immediately. Carla grabbed my father's arm. This is insane. We're family. You tried to break into his house, David said. You falsely represented yourselves to a locksmith. You sent threatening messages. You created a fake legal document to intimidate him. Judge Martinez took this very seriously. Dad turned to me, his face going deep red. Nathan, you're really doing this? You're getting lawyers involved? Against your own family? You tried to steal my house, I said. We were trying to help times, Alyssa, by taking something that's mine, without asking, without my permission. David pulled another set of documents from his briefcase. Additionally, the locksmith you contacted, Marcus Webb, filed a police report. You falsely represented yourselves as property owners to gain illegal entry. The district attorney's office is reviewing possible charges for attempted fraud, criminal trespassing, and harassment. Carla's hand flew to her mouth. Criminal charges? Yes, David said. Multiple counts. Alyssa started crying. Loud, dramatic sobs, the kind designed to manipulate everyone in the room into feeling sorry for her. I'm pregnant, she wailed. You're doing this to a pregnant woman. What kind of person are you? The kind who protects what's his, I said. Dad pointed at me, his hand shaking with rage. You'll regret this. Family doesn't forget. You think you can just turn on us like this? After everything we've done for you? What have you done for me? I asked. Specifically, he opened his mouth. Nothing came out. You sent me to boarding school at 13, I continued. You forgot my birthday 6 years in a row. You paid for Alyssa's entire college education and told me there was no money for mine. You bought Carla a car for her 40th birthday. You gave me a $100 Amazon gift card for Christmas. You paid for Alyssa's wedding $37,000 and told me you couldn't help with my student loans. So I'm genuinely curious. What have you done for me? 2. Silence. Carla pulled at Dad's sleeve. We need to leave. Now. You're not going anywhere until you acknowledge this order, David said. He pulled out a clipboard. I need each of you to sign this receipt confirming you've been served and understand the terms. And if we don't, Carla snapped, then I call the police right now and you're arrested for trespassing, because as of 4:36 p.m. on Thursday, October 12th, when Judge Martinez signed this order, you became legal strangers to this property. One by one, they signed. Dad's hand shook so badly his signature was barely legible. Alyssa was still crying, mascara running down her face in dark streaks. This isn't fair. I need this house. My baby needs this house. Then your parents should buy you one, I said. Not try to steal mine. Carla's face twisted with rage. You ungrateful, selfish little. Careful, David interrupted. That sounds like harassment, which would violate the order, which would get you arrested. She went quiet, but her eyes were pure hatred. Dad looked at me one last time. You're dead to me. Good, I replied. They walked out. Alyssa stumbled on the porch, steps dramatic, performative, hoping I'd rush to help her. I didn't move. Carla had to catch her. Dad turned back at his car. You'll regret this. Nathan, you'll regret this for the rest of your life. I shut the door in his face. David stayed for another hour. We went over everything. What to do if they violated the order, how to document any attempts at contact, what would happen with the DA's investigation. This isn't over, he warned. People like this don't just give up. They'll test the order. They'll try to find loopholes. Be ready. I'm ready. He smiled. I believe you. 3 days later, Carla texted me from a new number. You broke your father's heart. I hope you're happy. Screenshot. Forwarded to David. Violation number 1. We're filing a contempt motion, David said. This is exactly the kind of stupid I was expecting. Alyssa tried to add me on Facebook. Blocked. Reported. My father's brother, Uncle Greg, who I hadn't spoken to in 5 years, called and left a voicemail about family healing and forgiveness. I sent David the recording. They're using proxies, David said. That's still harassment. I'll send a cease and desist to anyone who contacts you on their behalf. Within a week, David had sent legal warnings to Uncle Greg, 2 of Alyssa's friends, and 1 of Carla's sisters. The calls stopped. 2 weeks later, I got an email from Elena Morrison, a reporter for the local news station. Mr. Harrison, I'm working on a story about property rights disputes within families. I came across your case through public court records, and I'm interested in speaking with you about your experience. Would you be willing to discuss what happened? I forwarded it to David. Your call, he said, but this could put public pressure on them, make it harder for them to spin this as you being cruel. I called Elena that afternoon. She was professional, thorough, asked detailed questions about the timeline, the evidence, the court order. She confirmed everything through public records and Judge Martinez's office. This is a textbook case of familial property fraud, she said. It happens more than people realize. Adult children buy homes. Family members try to claim ownership or move in without permission. Usually there's a vulnerable party they're claiming to protect someone pregnant, someone disabled, someone elderly. It's manipulation. So, what happens now? I'm running the story tomorrow. I'll include your father's and stepmother's attempts to take your property, the fake legal document, the restraining order. I'll also reach out to them for comment. They'll say I'm heartless, probably, but the evidence speaks for itself. The story aired on Thursday evening. Local family feud over property rights ends in restraining order. Elena showed the fake legal document on screen, played audio from my father's voicemail, interviewed David, who calmly explained property law and why my family had no legal standing. The reporter also played a clip from my father, who'd clearly agreed to an interview, thinking it would make him look good. My son has 3 bedrooms he doesn't use, Dad said on camera. His stepsister is pregnant and needs a safe place to raise her baby. We're just asking him to share, to be a family. And instead, he got lawyers involved and had us banned from his property. It's heartbreaking. Then Elena showed the locksmith video, the part where Alyssa said, "The baby needs a room, and you have 3 empty bedrooms doing nothing." The part where Carla said, "We thought you wouldn't mind." The part where my father said, "Families share. You don't need this whole place." The video made it clear they weren't asking, they were taking. The comment section on the news station's website exploded. "This is theft, not family support. Why didn't the father buy his daughter a house instead of trying to steal his son's? I'd get a restraining order too if my family tried to break into my house." Good for him for standing up. The contempt hearing was 3 weeks later. Judge Martinez presided. Same judge who'd signed the original restraining order. She looked tired, irritated, like she'd seen this pattern too many times. "Miss Bennett," she said, addressing Carla, "you violated a court order by contacting Mr. Harrison via text message 3 days after being served. Is that correct?" Carla stood up, hands clasped, trying to look remorseful. "Your Honor, I was just trying to reach out, to explain, to make him understand how much pain he's caused his father." "That's harassment," Judge Martinez said flatly. "The order was clear. No contact. None. You understood the terms when you signed the acknowledgement." "But." "No buts, Miss Bennett. You violated a court order. That's contempt." Carla sat down, face red. The judge turned to my father. "Mr. Harrison, you had your brother contact your son on your behalf. Is that correct?" Dad stood. "Your Honor, I didn't know that wasn't allowed. It's in the order. Any contact, direct or indirect, that includes proxies. I just wanted to talk to my son. Your son obtained a restraining order because you attempted to unlawfully take his property. You don't get to decide when that order stops mattering because you want to talk." She sentenced Carla to 40 hours of community service and a $500 fine. My father got 30 hours and $300. Alyssa, because she'd only committed the Facebook violation, got a warning. "Any future violations," Judge Martinez said, looking at all 3 of them, "will result in jail time. Not fines, not warnings. Jail. Do you understand?" They nodded. As we left the courtroom, Dad grabbed my arm in the hallway. David stepped between us immediately. "Do not touch my client." Dad let go, but his face was pure rage. "You happy now? You got your mother arrested." "Stepmother," I corrected. "And she arrested herself when she violated a court order. You've destroyed this family. You tried to steal my house. We were trying to help Alyssa by taking what's mine." He had no answer for that, just stared at me with this expression I couldn't quite read. Hatred, disappointment, maybe regret. "I hope it was worth it," he finally said, and walked away. 4 months later, I got a letter. Not from my father. From a woman named Catherine Lawson, a name I didn't recognize. Asterisk, "Dear Nathan." Asterisk, asterisk. "My name is Catherine Lawson, and I'm your father's first wife. I know this must come as a shock. Your father told you I was dead. I'm not. Asterisk, asterisk. I left when you were 2 years old. Your father made it impossible for me to stay controlling, manipulative, financially abusive. I tried to get custody of you, but he had lawyers and money, and I didn't. I lost. The court gave him full custody, and I was given supervised visitation only. Asterisk, asterisk. Your father told everyone I abandoned you, that I was unstable, that I didn't want to be a mother. None of it was true. Asterisk, asterisk. I tried to contact you multiple times over the years. Letters, emails, phone calls. Your father intercepted everything. When you turned 18, I sent a letter to your college. Did you ever receive it? Asterisk, asterisk. I'm writing now because I saw the news story about your house. I want you to know you did the right thing. Your father tried the same thing with me. He tried to take my inheritance from my parents, claimed it was family money, said I owed it to you. I refused, and he made my life hell until I finally left. Asterisk, asterisk. He's not going to change. He believes he's entitled to control everything and everyone around him. Asterisk, asterisk. If you want to talk, my number is below. If you don't, I understand, but I wanted you to know the truth. Asterisk, asterisk. Catherine asterisk. I read the letter 4 times. My mother was alive. My mother, who I'd been told died when I was 3, who I'd mourned my entire childhood, who I'd built an entire identity around being the son of a dead woman. Alive. I called the number that night. A woman answered. Her voice was shaking. "Nathan? Yeah, it's me." She cried. I cried. We talked for 3 hours. She told me about the custody battle, about my father's lawyers painting her as an unfit mother, about supervised visits in sterile rooms where I'd been too young to remember her, about letters she'd sent every birthday that I'd never received. "He told me you died in a car accident," I said. "He told you I was dead?" When I was 7, I asked where my mom was, and he said she died when I was 3. I believed him for 19 years. Oh my God. He married Carla 8 months later, told me she was my new mother, that I needed to respect her. Catherine was quiet for a long time. I tried, Nathan. I tried so hard to get you back, but he had money and power, and I was working 2 jobs just to afford rent. The court sided with him. I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. I should have tried harder. You tried, he lied. We talked every week after that, built a relationship from nothing. It was awkward at first. What do you say to a mother you don't remember? But slowly, it became something real. She came to visit 2 months later, drove 6 hours from Oregon. We met at a coffee shop downtown. I recognized her immediately. Something in the eyes, in the way she smiled. You look like me, she said, crying before we even hugged. I know. 6 months after the restraining order, my father filed a lawsuit, claimed emotional distress, claimed I'd damaged his reputation, claimed the news story had cost him business opportunities. David read the filing and laughed. This is nonsense. He's lashing out because he lost control. We filed a motion to dismiss, argued that his claims had no merit, that his reputation was damaged by his own actions, not mine. The judge agreed. Case dismissed, with prejudice, meaning he couldn't refile. David sent me a text. He's out of moves. It's over. 1 year after the locksmith incident, I got a call from Alyssa. Different number, not blocked. She was crying before I even said hello. Nathan, please, I need your help. Jordan left me. I'm living with mom and dad, and I can't do this anymore. The baby's 6 months old and I have no money and nowhere to go. And why are you calling me? Because you're the only person I know who actually got away. I was silent. I know I was awful, she continued. I know I tried to take your house. I know I was selfish and entitled, and I believed everything they told me about you. But I see it now. How they control everything. How nothing's ever enough. How dad makes you feel like you owe him your entire life. What do you want, Alyssa? I don't want your house. I just want, I don't know, advice. How did you do it? How did you cut them off and not feel guilty? I protected what was mine, and I stopped believing I owed them anything just because they called themselves family. She was quiet. I could hear the baby crying in the background. Alyssa, if you want to leave them, leave. But don't call me asking for permission. You're an adult. Make your own choice. Will you help me? Help you how? I don't know. Maybe just talk to me sometimes. I don't have anyone else. I thought about it. About the locksmith. About her entitled smile when she'd sat on my couch and talked about taking my bedroom. About the voicemail where she'd said, "We're moving in, whether you like it or not." But I also thought about Catherine. About the phone call where she'd cried and said, "I should have tried harder." "I'll talk to you," I said, "but I'm not fixing your life. That's on you." "Okay." Her voice was small. "Thank you." We hung up. I don't know if Alyssa will actually leave them. Don't know if she has the strength to walk away from people who've controlled her for 28 years, but at least she called. At least she saw it.